let me ask you this, and do not answer lightly. What is the one action you know you must take but keep postponing? What dream do you keep carrying like a burden instead of releasing like a command? What purpose is pounding at the door of your mind each morning, and yet you silence it with delay? Because if you keep postponing your destiny, a day will come where you wake up in the grip of regret. You will look back at this very hour, the hour you had the strength to begin, and whisper with agony, "Why didn't I start sooner?" Do not let that day come. One day you'll wish you had spoken. One day you'll wish you had built. One day you'll wish you had started before the pain made it mandatory. But today you still have the gift of power. So I speak to the man who knows he was made for more, but keeps hitting snooze. I speak to the woman who burns with ideas, visions, plans, but lets doubt delay her every move. And I say to both of you with fire in my voice, do not wait for pain to become your teacher. Pain does not arrive to instruct. It arrives to correct what you already knew. Pain is the cost of ignoring purpose, and I am here to spare you that cost. You may think delay is harmless. You may think it's just not the right time. You may think life will tell you when to begin. But life already told you. It told you the day you felt desire. The day the dream appeared in your heart, that was the command. That was the hour to start. The longer you delay, the louder regret becomes. And let me assure you, regret has a deafening voice. Success does not wait for the perfect season. It obeys the man who acts in spite of the storm. It serves the one who commands his mind, not the one who consults his fears. Do not say, "I'm not ready." No man is ever ready. But the ones who begin become ready through obedience. And every moment you delay, you train your spirit to be weak. Let me be plain. If you do not move when the desire first appears, you lose the spiritual momentum that made it powerful. That desire in you, that fire, that unrest, it is not confusion. It is a divine summons. You are being pulled toward a higher version of yourself, and the only thing standing between you and it is delay. Do not wait for your health to fail. Do not wait for your heart to break. Do not wait for your money to dry up. Do not wait for opportunity to leave you behind. Because life is merciless to the man who hesitates. It gives its reward to the man who begins. Let others rehearse excuses. Let others dream without daring. Let others die with their music still locked inside. But you will begin now. You will not wait for a breakdown. You will walk in decision today. This is not a speech for the passive. This is a command for the willing. And if you obey what I speak over the next 8 parts, you will burn your excuses, build with precision, and become the one thing life cannot resist, a man of action. You will not wait for pain to teach you. You will act from power, from clarity, from inner fire. You will not meet regret in your final hour. You will shake hands with satisfaction. And when that day comes, the day others wish they had started, you will be too far ahead to look back. Let us begin. Part 1. Delay feeds the ghost of fear. Delay is not passive. It is not neutral. It is not harmless. Delay is a spiritual infection. It begins as a whisper, then becomes a chain. Every moment you hesitate to move toward your definite chief aim, you feed a ghost. That ghost is fear. And it does not need facts to survive. It only needs your permission to linger. Fear does not appear in moments of clarity. It appears in moments of pause. It invades the man who waits, not the man who moves. It strikes the one who says tomorrow, not the one who commands today. And every time you delay an action your spirit knows is right, you teach your subconscious to tremble at its own power. There are 6 ghosts of fear, and they all feast on delay. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of the loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death. Each one grows when you hesitate. Each one sharpens its teeth when you say, "I'll start later." Delay is their oxygen. Action is their execution. The mind does not remain neutral in waiting. It either advances or retreats. When you delay, you do not pause. You begin reversing. You begin drifting. And drift is the most dangerous condition of all because it disguises itself as harmless when it is, in fact, fatal to destiny. You must now recognize delay as your enemy, not your schedule, not your circumstances, not your fatigue. Delay itself is the adversary. It is not that life is against you. It is that your inaction is feeding the very fear that destroys men in silence. Fear does not need evidence to rule a man. It needs only delay. Delay is the seed and fear is the fruit. And you must now cut the root. You must act not because you feel courageous, but because you are done feeding ghosts. Let me give you the truth. Action is spiritual warfare. When you act, you silence the lie. When you move, you cancel fear's grip. When you begin, fear must end. The two cannot coexist. And therefore, delay is not a scheduling issue. It is a spiritual violation. Think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failures did not stop him from moving forward. Why? Because he did not allow delay to grow into doubt. He acted immediately. He tested again. He adjusted. He stayed in motion. And because of that, fear had no place to enter his creative system. Delay is always decorated with excuses. I need more time. I need more clarity. I'm not ready. But beneath every excuse is the ghost whispering, don't move. Stay small. Wait until it's too late. And you must now cast that whisper from your mind. Your subconscious cannot differentiate between truth and repetition. If you repeat hesitation, it will build a habit of fear. But if you repeat movement, your inner being will begin to expect action. It will begin to associate purpose with progress, and that is how a man becomes unstoppable. Fear feeds on voids. If you do not fill the space with command, fear will fill it with confusion. Your time must be spoken for. Your hour must be claimed. Your aim must be acted on. Because if you leave your calendar empty, fear will write in its own appointments. You do not need more motivation. You need more motion. You do not need a perfect plan. You need persistent presence. You do not need permission. You need practice, because delay will make you believe you are unworthy, while action will prove that you are already appointed. The man who delays never reaches the stage, never finishes the book, never begins the company, never speaks his truth. He dies safe and silent, remembered only for what he might have done. But the man who moves, even trembling, even uncertain, becomes a monument of decision. When you delay, you bury your potential under the soil of stagnation, and buried long enough, it rots. Action is the sun. Movement is the oxygen. You do not grow your power in theory. You grow it in application, and you cannot apply what you do not begin. The first sign of drift is delay, and drift is the death of purpose. When a man drifts, he no longer steers his life. He becomes cargo in someone else's ship. And no cargo ever built a legacy. Only captains do, and captains do not wait for the wind. They command the sails. Let me ask you plainly, what have you been delaying? What book? What goal? What call? What message? What system? What plan? You already know the answer. It's the thing that stirs you when you try to sleep. It's the thing you fear will never happen. And that's exactly where you must act. Do not wait for more fear to wake you. Do not wait for loss to force you. Let this moment be enough. Let this voice be your call. Let this paragraph be your permission. If you need a sign, this is it. You do not need more time. You need more truth, and the truth is you are delaying your own destiny. Say this aloud now. I do not delay. I do not feed fear. I move today. I command now. I starve the ghost of doubt, and I breathe power into my future. Delay dies today. Do not just recite it. Enforce it. Let your calendar reflect your decision. Let your habits mirror your declaration. Let every moment from this hour forward prove that you are no longer the man who waits, but the man who acts. One final truth. Fear never leaves the man who delays. It only leaves the man who disobeys it. Part 2. Your chief aim is waiting for obedience. A definite chief aim is not a hope. It is not a fantasy. It is a command, a sacred instruction deposited in the mind of a man by infinite intelligence. And yet, most men delay it. They treat it like an option, not an obligation. But the truth is this: what you delay, you disobey. And what you disobey, you weaken. When you know your chief aim, when you have it written with precision, and you delay acting on it, you do not merely drift. You defile the very power that was gifted to you. The mind cannot house a great vision and tolerate small action without internal war. And the longer you wait to act, the louder the war becomes. There is no peace in postponing purpose. The man who avoids his aim may sleep, but he will never rest. He may distract himself, but he will never be satisfied, because his spirit knows the difference between motion and meaning. The mind is not at ease until it is in alignment with the call. Do not make the mistake of confusing vision with value. Your definite chief aim is not valuable because it feels good. It is valuable because it is good. And what is good must be built. Delay in execution is dishonor to the assignment. You are not waiting on the right season. You are postponing obedience. You must now treat your aim with sacred seriousness. It is not a side project. It is the purpose of your breath. If you knew you had only 30 days left to live, your chief aim would become urgent. And it is that urgency, not desperation, that must now govern your movement. Think of Henry Ford. He was not born with engines in his hands. He was not praised in his early years. He was mocked, resisted, challenged, and dismissed. He lost businesses. He lost partners. But he never lost his definite chief aim, to build a car that served the common man. He did not wait to perfect the road. He began building the vehicle. Let this truth burn in your mind. Ford's success was not in the brilliance of his machinery. It was in the consistency of his aim. While others changed goals every year, Ford obeyed his vision like a soldier obeys a general. He moved toward it, whether it rained, burned, or shook beneath him. You must now ask yourself, what is my aim? Not a vague hope, not a floating dream, a precise, measurable, demanding aim. One that commands you to rise at dawn. One that silences distractions. One that embarrasses delay. And once you identify it, you must structure your entire life around its execution. Obedience to your aim must become your daily discipline. Each day must carry a portion of its fulfillment. Even the smallest task done in service to your definite chief aim is sacred, because every act of obedience draws you closer to the man you are meant to become. And the man who walks in alignment with his chief aim walks in favor. He walks in strength. He walks in spiritual momentum. He begins to notice that the right people appear, the right thoughts arrive, and the right events unfold. Why? Because infinite intelligence does not reward the gifted. It rewards the obedient. Let me make this plain. The man who ignores his chief aim does not lose his power. He buries it. And buried long enough, it becomes regret. You do not want to meet old age with the taste of wasted vision on your tongue. You do not want to meet your final hour knowing your obedience was optional. So what must you do? You must write your chief aim clearly. You must read it aloud twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. You must visualize it as already accomplished. You must speak faith into it even when no one believes it but you. You must structure your hours around it. Refuse distractions that do not serve it. Refuse conversations that weaken it. Refuse habits that contradict it. Because your chief aim is not a decoration, it is your design. Say this aloud. My aim is sacred. My hours are structured. My thoughts are disciplined. My action is consistent. I do not delay. I obey. You must live like a man possessed by purpose, because the truth is, you are. You were born with a specific destiny, a contribution to deliver, a change to enforce. And the only way you honor that divine assignment is through daily, definite action. There is no greatness without obedience. There is no riches without structure. There is no peace without execution. And so I command you now, not from pride, but from purpose. Stop treating your aim like an idea. Treat it like a vow. Every time you delay your chief aim, you dishonor the God that gave it to you. Every time you obey it, you align with the force of all progress. You align with success, with riches, with legacy, with impact. Your aim is not a burden. It is your bridge to the life you were born to build. And that bridge will never appear until you step toward it in faith. Say this again. My aim is not a wish. It is a command. I walk with it. I build with it. I live by it. Part 3. The law of compensation rewards the decisive. You do not receive in life what you deserve. You receive what you demand. And you do not demand with words alone. You demand through decision. The universe does not move for the man who waits. It moves for the one who acts. The law of compensation does not pay dreamers. It pays doers. The truth is this: life is always watching. It listens not to your intentions, but to your consistency. The man who acts without hesitation receives his reward, not because he is better, but because he proves he is ready. Readiness is not a feeling. It is a demonstration, and decision is that demonstration. This law governs all riches. For every action, there is a return, but the return is only guaranteed when the action is delivered with faith, speed, and conviction. The man who calculates forever receives nothing. The man who moves while others wait collects what the world forfeits. I say again, life pays the decisive. Charles Schwab was such a man. In times of crisis, while the market quaked and others trembled, he stood up and acted. He did not drown in meetings. He did not delay for permission. He declared the next move and executed. His decisiveness commanded not just respect, but fortune. He understood that delay is expensive. Waiting for certainty is a luxury the successful do not afford. Every moment of hesitation was a moment someone else was taking the opportunity meant for him. He did not fear mistakes. He feared missing the moment. That is the posture of the powerful. The man who hesitates sends a signal to life. I am not yet serious. And life does not pay those who are interested. It pays those who are instructed. The law of compensation scans your behavior and answers accordingly. Idle minds do not receive inspiration. Idle hands do not receive wealth. You must now make this law your law. You must write it into your belief. If I move in decisiveness, I will receive in fullness. Every goal you desire is moving at the speed of your belief. If your belief is slow, your reward is slow. If your belief is sharp, your reward is imminent. Decision compresses time. The man who decides today experiences in 1 year what the hesitant man never touches in 10. Why? Because decisiveness attracts resources. It pulls people, opens doors, and commands unseen help. It collapses the long road into a direct path. Indecision, on the other hand, scatters energy. It confuses those around you. It silences your mind. It robs you of opportunity. Worse than failure, indecision kills faith. It tells your spirit you cannot be trusted with power. You must now behave like a man who expects reward because he moves like one. When the decision is made, action follows immediately. No delay, no debate, no crowd consultation. You are not building by committee. You are building by command. Life tests men through opportunities. It does not announce them. It hides them in disguise. And only the decisive man sees through the disguise, grabs the moment, and transforms it into gold. Others walk by, afraid. He walks forward and becomes legend. This is the law that governs the successful. Decide first, refine later. It is not the perfect who prosper, it is the prompt. You do not need to know every step. You need to move your foot. That movement will teach you what planning never could. That single act of decision tells infinite intelligence, this man is ready to be entrusted with more. There is no compensation without commitment. You must commit not to your fantasy, but to execution, to labor, to movement, to action that scares lesser men and stirs the waters of destiny. Say this aloud. I am decisive. I move fast. I act with clarity. I attract reward because I obey my vision. Write it down. Speak it daily. Let it become the engine of your new identity, because the man who is decisive becomes powerful, not over others, but over his own life. Do not wait for signs. Decision is the sign. You become great by choosing when others tremble. You rise by acting when others talk. You separate yourself from the masses by refusing to delay another hour. The law of compensation is just. It does not favor personality. It favors performance. And performance is built through decision under pressure. Can you act when the way is not certain? Can you move when fear stands nearby? Can you leap when the crowd stays seated? If so, you are already rich. The riches may not be visible yet, but they are en route. For no man ever decided fully and walked away empty. Infinite intelligence rewards decisiveness, like a farmer rewards obedience to the harvest. If you sow decision, you reap destiny. Do not envy the decisive man, become him. Do not admire his confidence. Study his commitment to movement. He does not wait for courage. He does not wait for applause. He does not wait for clear skies. He acts because he understands that every reward in life is waiting behind one thing, a courageous, fast decision. Repeat this. I demand riches of life because I serve life without delay. My reward is movement, and I move now. Part 4. Pain is not the call, desire is. Most men move only when it hurts. They delay their calling until life screams. They wait for betrayal, for bankruptcy, for heartbreak, for illness, before they begin to obey their inner voice. But pain was never meant to be your signal. Desire was. The whisper inside you is not random. It is the voice of purpose calling before the storm ever arrives. You were not created to be a man of reaction. You were made to live by direction, to act from inspiration, not from desperation. And yet, if you wait for suffering to move you, you surrender your destiny to the hands of delay. Desire must be enough. You must hear its call while everything still appears calm, and move boldly toward it. Pain is a poor mentor. It teaches through force, not through favor. It is the final call, not the first one. And most men wait until pain knocks down the door, then wish they had answered the gentle knock of desire years earlier. Do not be such a man. When your desire first stirred, that was the voice of infinite intelligence speaking to your inner design. Abraham Lincoln knew this well. He was not invited into greatness by applause. He was ridiculed, rejected, failed in business, defeated in elections, mocked for his looks, his voice, his ambition. But he never waited for the pain to be unbearable to act. He acted from desire. His longing to serve, to unite, to free was stronger than the pain of rejection. Desire will never shout. It will not push you. It waits for obedience. It tests your honor. It asks, will you build while others sleep? Will you act before the storm? Will you live from your design, not from your wounds? The man who answers yes to these questions becomes immortal in impact. Do not wait for rock bottom. Begin from the top of clarity. Begin because you want to, not because you have to. Begin from desire, not disaster. Because whatever you build from desire will last longer, rise higher, and serve deeper than anything you build from emergency. When you act from pain, you are running. When you act from desire, you are rising. When you obey pain, you are reacting. When you obey desire, you are creating. And the creator always outranks the reactor in both power and peace. There is no honor in waiting for breakdown. There is no virtue in building from the ashes when you had blueprints all along. You are not meant to be the phoenix. You are meant to be the fire. You are the origin, not the aftermath. And that fire is lit by desire. If you feel it now, move. Do not wait for loss to shake you into motion. Do not wait for betrayal to show you who your real friends are. Do not wait for sickness to remind you of health. Use the desire while it's pure, while it's sacred, while it still feels like breath. Desire is proof of direction. You do not desire riches because you are greedy. You desire riches because your soul knows it was not made to beg. You desire impact because your spirit remembers its greatness. Desire is not a trap, it is a signal. But delay is the poison. Delay says it's not time. Delay says you need more pain to earn this. Delay says you're not worthy yet. And if you listen to delay longer than desire, you will forget how to dream altogether. You must now reignite that fire. You must let the desire burn again, not as fantasy, but as fuel. Let it call you. Let it command you. Let it make you restructure your days. Let it remove everything that drains you. Let it become your North Star, your inner throne, your morning prayer. Desire is holy. It is the earliest sign of your assignment. If God did not want you to build, He would not have given you the desire to build. If life did not mean for you to lead, it would not have given you the ache of leadership. Stop waiting for suffering to validate what desire already confirmed. Repeat this aloud. I do not wait for pain. I obey desire. I live by direction, not reaction. I begin from fire, not from ruin. I act because I am called, not because I am cornered. Burn that truth into your calendar, into your routines, into your self-talk. Every minute you act from desire is a seed planted in power. Every delay is a missed harvest. Ask yourself now, what have I desired for years, but postponed until pain forced me? What dream have I buried because I was waiting for the collapse? The breakdown, the betrayal, whatever you name, begin building it now, not out of fear, but out of faith. You will never regret acting from desire, but you will always regret needing pain to finally move. Let us go on. Part 5, Infinite Intelligence Answers. Action, not excuse. Infinite intelligence does not respond to excuses. It does not move for the man who pleads without performance, nor for the one who rationalizes delay with logic. It responds only to one force, action. The man who acts, even with trembling hands and uncertain footing, is obeyed by life in a way that no beggar ever will be. You must understand that the spiritual world watches movement, not intention. It waits for command, not apology. Every excuse you utter delays a blessing you have already been assigned. Every moment of action you choose brings that blessing closer into view. Action is the voice of faith. Excuse is the language of drift. Most men confuse prayer with passivity. They say, I'm waiting on a sign. But the sign was sent the moment the desire was born in you. If you feel called, that is the sign. If you know what to do, even faintly, even dimly, then infinite intelligence has already given its approval. Now it is waiting on you. Think of John D. Rockefeller. He did not wait for someone to guarantee success. He did not pause to ask if his ambition was too grand. He moved, he studied, he acted, and while others debated, he acquired. While others hesitated, he positioned. While others made excuses, he built an empire. Rockefeller did not worship chance. He worshiped cause and effect. He trusted that every hour of discipline would return to him multiplied. And it did. Because infinite intelligence does not reward laziness dressed up as preparation. It rewards the man who dares to begin. This is the truth. The world you want is listening to your behavior. It is responding to your patterns. If you move in faith, speak in clarity, act in purpose, life cannot resist you. But if you stay still, stuck, and silent, your dreams will not visit you out of pity. Excuses are easy to defend. They always sound noble. I'm waiting for more experience. I don't have the time. This isn't the right season. But every excuse you choose delays your transformation. And if you are not being transformed, you are being trapped. Let this be made clear. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on your decision. Every resource you need is already in motion. But those resources cannot follow your indecision. They do not respond to potential. They respond to plans in action. Excuses are seductive because they let you protect your pride. I could have succeeded if, but if is the grave of greatness. You must bury your excuses before they bury your future. The man who conquers himself stops explaining his delay and starts proving his faith. Say this with conviction. My action is my prayer. My decision is my worship. I am heard because I move. I am answered because I obey. Infinite intelligence is not confused by your silence. It is unconvinced by it. It waits for you to declare yourself by action. Your excuses may fool your friends. They may soothe your fears. But they do not move the hand of destiny. Only action can do that. You do not need louder prayers. You need louder footsteps. You need your calendar to echo your command. You need your routine to match your revelation. Because your future is not built by what you believe. It is built by what you consistently build. And you cannot build with excuses. Excuses are spiritual termites. They eat the foundation of your self-respect. They whisper in your ear and say, wait a little longer, until you've wasted the very years meant for your rise. Look around. Every man you admire began with less. He began without applause, without certainty, without comfort. But he moved, he acted, he traded his excuses for results. And because of that, the universe could not ignore him. Do not try to appear perfect, appear powerful. In movement, begin where you are with what you have, before you feel ready. That is how you signal to infinite intelligence, I am a man to be trusted with increase. If you act in faith, all things begin aligning, not immediately, but inevitably, because your action stirs the atmosphere. It calls favor from corners you've never seen. It wakes opportunities that were asleep until your energy shook them into place. Every man must choose comfort or calling. Excuses preserve your comfort. Action fulfills your calling. You cannot have both. You must pick one and live by it daily. Say this aloud again. I will not speak excuses. I will speak instruction. I will not wait for movement. I will create it. Infinite intelligence flows to me because I obey with boldness. You are now past the point of ignorance. You know your aim. You feel your desire. You've heard the call. Excuse has no room left to hide. If you do not act, you betray yourself. And that betrayal will echo through your future. Let your action now be the apology for every delay you've ever allowed. Let your commitment now be the redemption of every wasted hour. Let your footsteps be the answer to your own prayers. Part 6. You are building the habit of delay or the habit of decision. There is no such thing as a neutral day. Every day you live, you are being shaped into strength or into softness, into clarity or confusion, into command or hesitation. And every single act of delay, no matter how small, is training you to become a man who delays again. That is the law of cosmic habit force. You are not simply choosing what to do today, you are choosing who to become tomorrow. Each postponed task strengthens drift. Each postponed decision feeds fear. Each silent day trains your mind to expect comfort, not command. And if you are not training yourself for action, the world will train you for regret. Habit is not built by intention, it is built by repetition. You may want to be decisive, but only your actions determine whether that desire becomes character. You must now see that every time you act, even in small matters, you are teaching your subconscious that you are a man of movement. Napoleon Bonaparte understood this law. He trained himself to decide in minutes what others took weeks to debate. He believed delay was death, not just on the battlefield, but in the soul. Every moment a general hesitated, his enemy gained ground. And so it is with life. Every time you pause, fear advances. You are either creating momentum or you are losing it. There is no middle. There is no pause button on your potential. You are either becoming more decisive, more deliberate, more definite, or you are becoming less. And the longer you delay action, the more your inner world begins to expect inaction as normal. Most men are not lazy because they were born lazy. They became lazy by daily hesitation. The delay at sunrise, the excuse at noon, the shrug at dusk, every ignored responsibility forms another link in the chain that binds them. And after enough repetition, they call it fate. But it is not fate. It is habit. You must now take command of your repetition. You must say, every day I decide something. Every day I act on something. Every day I train my soul for movement. Because when decision becomes a reflex, opportunity becomes inevitable. And when hesitation becomes a reflex, regret becomes guaranteed. And do not say, I'll do better tomorrow. Say, I command today. Do not hope you will change. Design the man you want to become and live like him now. Speak like him now. Choose like him now. You are not waiting to be great. You are training your mind to expect greatness. When a man trains himself to delay, he soon forgets what it means to act. The longer you put off your aim, the harder it becomes to begin. Not because the task grew, but because your courage shrank. And the only way to restore it is through repeated movement. Let this truth settle in you. Discipline is not built in crisis. It is built in the morning routine, in the way you stand, in the way you speak, in the way you respond to the small choices others overlook. The world does not owe you transformation. You owe it to yourself through practice, through persistence, through choosing the decision that feels harder in the moment but stronger in the soul. And that choice, repeated enough, becomes the very identity of success. Say this aloud. I act quickly. I choose now. I practice decision in every moment. I am being forged by my daily obedience. This is not theory. This is the law of life. The man who moves with discipline, daily, deliberately, decisively, cannot be stopped. His circumstances may shift. His resources may change, but his direction is always forward. You are either teaching yourself to wait or teaching yourself to win. You are either rehearsing delay or rehearsing command. And the results of your life will reflect whichever one you practice more. Do not underestimate the power of one decision. One firm yes, one absolute no, one email sent, one task completed, 1 hour defended. Each one is a blow against drift. Each one is a strike against the old version of you who lingered in hesitation. You must now build your day like a soldier builds his body, with repetition, with rigor, with rhythm. And your reward will not be merely achievement, it will be identity. You will no longer have to wonder, will I act? You will know because you have trained yourself to do so. This is how the men of destiny live. They do not wait for permission. They do not delay their command. They live by principle, by habit, by internal decree. And every decision, no matter how small, becomes a rehearsal for something far greater than the act itself. Say this again. I do not wait to feel ready. I act as a law. I choose repetition over hesitation. I am becoming a master through decision. And if you do this daily, without exception, without emotion, without excuse, you will become unstoppable. You will become the type of man success cannot avoid. The type of man opportunity cannot resist. The type of man who never again delays the life he was born to build. Part 7. You can't outrun regret. You can only prevent it. Regret is not a storm that arrives unannounced. It is the final form of every delayed decision, every silenced conviction, every aim ignored, and every hour wasted. It does not shout, it haunts. It does not scream, it whispers. And it says one thing again and again, you could have been more. The greatest pain a man will ever feel is not failure. It is unlived potential. The dreams he never honored, the chances he never took, the voice he never followed, the gifts he buried under convenience and delay. That pain cannot be healed by time. It can only be prevented by action. You cannot outrun regret. No amount of distraction, success in other areas, or applause from the crowd will silence the voice that says, "You knew, and you still did not move." The man who lives by excuses will meet his judge in the mirror, not in the court of public opinion. Abraham Lincoln was defeated time and again. He failed in business. He lost elections. He was ridiculed, doubted, and dismissed. But he acted. He obeyed his sense of purpose, and because of that, he died a man of honor, not because he was perfect, but because he did not delay. Most men confuse safety with wisdom. They choose not to act, believing they are avoiding mistakes. But in truth, they are manufacturing regret, because delay creates a distance between who you are and who you were meant to be. And the longer you delay, the more painful the distance becomes. There is a great tragedy in the man who had the time, the talent, the desire, and still refused to begin. His legacy is not defined by his flaws, but by his forfeiture. You were not made to withhold your contribution. You were made to release it, and the clock is not waiting for your convenience. If you are breathing, it means your purpose is still active, but it will not remain forever. There is an expiration date on every dream, a window for every breakthrough. And the wise man does not delay obedience. He respects the timing. Regret multiplies over years. The dream you delay today will not be lighter tomorrow, it will be heavier, because it will now be carrying the weight of wasted time, missed opportunities, and neglected moments. Regret grows where discipline was avoided. You must ask yourself now, what am I delaying that my future self will ache over? What aim have I pushed to the side? What conversation have I postponed? What action have I excused? Write it down, name it, stare at it, and then act before regret grows teeth. Action now is the only antidote to regret later. You cannot pray regret away. You cannot work around it. You must build the life that kills it. The life where your calendar and your convictions finally speak the same language. Say this aloud. I will not meet regret. I walk with courage. I act while others wish. I live so my future does not accuse me. You were not designed to live in the shadow of someday. You were designed to stand boldly in now. Every moment of obedience today builds a future where regret cannot breathe. But every delay today becomes the seed of a pain you will eventually have to feel. The wise man lives now. The foolish man says, tomorrow. But tomorrow is not promised, not guaranteed, not even owed to you. What is guaranteed is that you will remember what you did with today, and that memory will either reward you or haunt you. Do not let your dreams rot into memories. Do not let your potential become your punishment. You are not here to survive your years. You are here to fulfill your assignment, and only the obedient man does so with peace. Repeat this again. I do not postpone greatness. I do not gamble with my future. I choose action over apology. I choose courage over comfort. This is your moment. This is your hour. Do not let it pass into the graveyard of what could have been. Let it become the day you declared war on regret and won. Let us press on. Part 8. Begin now, and infinite forces begin with you. There is a moment in every man's life when the excuses grow quiet, when the applause of others no longer satisfies, when the mirror speaks louder than the world. And in that moment, a voice rises, not one of shame but of summons. It says simply, begin now. This voice is not loud, it does not demand, it invites. It is the voice of infinite intelligence, beckoning you to step into your design. And when you answer that voice with action, something astonishing happens. The universe begins to move with you. You do not act alone. When you begin, unseen doors open. When you obey, help arises from directions you could not foresee. The winds shift, the road clears, and not because life suddenly favors you, but because you finally aligned yourself with its laws. The man who waits delays not only his reward, but his reinforcements. Infinite forces are not given to the indecisive. They are reserved for the man who acts without guarantee. The man who says, I begin now, not because I see the end, but because I know I must start. Action is not a small thing. It is a spiritual declaration. It is the boldest prayer you can offer. It tells life, I am ready to be entrusted with more. And in return, life begins to entrust you, not all at once, but faithfully. Because what you prove in action is more powerful than anything you claim in silence. Andrew Carnegie understood this. He did not ask if the world was ready for his vision. He declared his intention to dominate the steel industry, to give his fortune to mankind, to raise up men who could carry the torch of wealth with wisdom. He did not begin when others approved. He began because he knew, once I start, all things will conspire to assist me. And they did, not immediately, but eventually, because he moved first. And the forces of success always honor the man who moves first. You must do the same. The miracle you want is not waiting to be discovered. It is waiting to be activated by your motion. The people you need, the resources you require, the favor you desire, they are all standing still, waiting for your first command. Do not say, but I don't know how. None of the greats knew how in the beginning. They learned by building, by doing, by failing forward. And because they acted, infinite intelligence revealed the way. Revelation always follows obedience, not theory. You say you want breakthrough? Begin. You say you want riches? Begin. You say you want peace, progress, impact, legacy? Begin. There is no secret door, no perfect timing, no final confirmation. The door is beginning. The timing is now. The confirmation is your decision. The tragedy of man is not that he is incapable, but that he is unwilling. He waits for everything to be just right before he acts. And in doing so, he forfeits the very forces that would have made it right. Begin now, and you will discover what delay always hid, that the world bends for the man of decision, that fate honors the man of focus, that life bends to the voice of a man who says, I will not wait another day. Say this aloud, I do not wait, I begin. And because I begin, all power, favor, and force flows toward me. I am not late, I am in command now. Let that affirmation be your daily decree. Let it be louder than your doubts. Let it override every voice that told you to wait. Because today is not just another chance. It is a divine appointment. You were meant to meet this moment with movement. There is something sacred about the man who begins. He does not need applause. He does not wait for consensus. He does not beg for clarity. He acts, and in doing so, he becomes a magnet for miracles. Every great movement in history began not with a crowd, but with a single man who refused to postpone destiny. One man who obeyed the whisper, who defied his fear, who walked forward when others stayed seated. And the moment he moved, the world moved too. You are that man. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are simply at the gate of your greatness. And that gate does not open for thought. It opens for action. When you begin, even the soil obeys you. Even the hours stretch for you. Even the heavens take note. Not because you are more special than others, but because you moved when most hesitated. The man who begins today will sleep with peace tonight and rise tomorrow with momentum. The man who delays will sleep in regret and wake in repetition. Begin. Let it be messy. Let it be uncertain. Let it be unrefined. But let it be now. Do not leave this speech and return to old habits. Do not nod and do nothing. Do not promise yourself soon. That promise has already cost you too much. Trade it now for progress. Declare, I am the man who begins. I start before I feel ready. I act while others wish. I command before I complain. I move with purpose, and purpose moves with me. And let that be the spirit of every hour, every plan, every step. Build it into your schedule. Speak it into your mornings. Rehearse it in your silence. Become the living embodiment of this law. Those who begin, win. One day the world will ask how you did it, and you will say, I stopped waiting. I began, and the rest came running. Let that begin now. Let that begin with you.